Our lives are filled with distraction, filled with stimulation. But imagine if there was a way to slow things down, for the mind to unwind, and for our body to let go of that stress. When was the last time that you stopped, that you were still, that you put down your phone, that you got rid of all the distractions around you? When was the last time that you did nothing? And by nothing, I really mean nothing. Hi, I'm Andy, and welcome to Headspace Guide to Meditation. I'm gonna be your guide as we explore the mind and discover how meditation can benefit us in our life. Whether you've done some meditation before or are completely new to this, I'm gonna lead you through every step of the way. Throughout this series, I'll introduce you to a variety of techniques and explain how each one can be used for specific situations in your life. At the end of each episode, you'll have the chance to practice the technique as I guide you through a meditation. I hope to show you how meditation can help you to be more present and less distracted, how it can bring a greater sense of enjoyment to life, while it's helping us to connect with those that we care about most. So, you may be asking, well, what is meditation? Well, it's actually a really simple thing. Meditation is essentially a skill, a way of training our mind so that we can have a calmer, clearer mind and a greater sense of ease in our mind, our body, and in our life. You can meditate alone or you can meditate with others. So essentially, we're just removing ourselves for a few minutes, perhaps a bit longer, on a regular basis when we pause and train the mind to be more present, less distracted. So, I was about 10 years old when I was first introduced to meditation, but it wasn't really until my late teens, maybe even my early 20s, that I had a bigger impact on my life. As I got a little bit older, I experienced some loss in my life, people really close to me. And I didn't know how to deal with that, so I found myself overwhelmed by emotion. I found that my mind was often very busy, and I thought at some level that I could think my way out of it. As it turned out, I couldn't. I needed something more radical, so I decided to quit my degree and then become a Buddhist monk instead. I went up to Himalayas and I began a journey of many years where I lived in a number of different monasteries in different countries. And during that time, I had the good fortune to learn from some of the greatest masters in many different traditions. And my hope is that I can share their wisdom and their insight with you so that you don't have to go to Himalayas, you don't have to become a monk or nun, and you don't have to make all the mistakes that I made on my journey. When I started practicing at the monastery, I just assumed that meditation meant to control the mind, to change the mind, to be able to get rid of thoughts and distractions. But my teacher explained it in a different way. He said, "Look, imagine that you're sitting on the side of the road." He said, "Now, all you have to do is to just sit there and watch the cars. The cars are your thoughts." Sounds easy, right? But what usually happens is that we feel a bit unsettled by the movement of the traffic. So we run out into the road and we try and stop the cars, or maybe we even find ourselves chasing after a few, forgetting that the idea was to just sit there. Now, obviously, All of this running around only adds to the feeling of restlessness in our mind. So, training the mind is about changing our relationship with those passing thoughts and feelings, learning how to view them with a little more perspective. And when we do this, we naturally find a place of calm. Will we sometimes forget the idea of the exercise and become distracted? Of course we will, but as soon as we remember, here we are, back on the side of the road again, just watching the traffic go by, perfectly at ease in body and mind. One of the fundamental techniques for cultivating that place of calm is called focused attention. When we are training the mind, having something to focus our attention on is really important. It could be a visualization, a question, a word, a phrase, or maybe even something external. The most common thing to focus on is the breath. Having that place of focusing attention that gives us an anchor. It's something to come back to when we suddenly realize that the mind's wandered off, which of course it inevitably will do at times. And when we focus on an object like the breath, it's not that we're trying to escape thoughts or shut out the world around us. We're learning to recognize when we got caught up in that thinking or in any type of distraction and to gently step out of it to let it go and to return to that place of calm, focused attention. Techniques like focused attention are not something new. They're part of a Buddhist tradition that dates back thousands of years. And within those practices, there is a tradition of passing down learning from teachers to students. And it's something that I was very fortunate to have experienced. And now I feel really privileged to share these techniques with you. So, my hope is that when you meditate with the that confidence that this is something that's been around in R&D essentially for thousands of years. The actual focus on the breath itself evolved from techniques that were developed almost 3,000 years ago. Now, of course, the people who've practiced over the years have felt the benefits but haven't necessarily been able to explain what's happening physiologically. But in the last 20 years, scientists have been able to do just that, to rigorously measure what's happening in heart rates, to blood pressure, to stress level, and even the structure of the brain itself. When I was a monk, I had no idea that there was something called neuroplasticity, that the brain was flexible, malleable, that it could change, and that scientists were actually witnessing this by putting monks through an fMRI scanner and witnessing what was happening to the brain before, during, and after meditation. And we know now that when we sit to meditate in the same way as when we go and work out in the gym, we train a muscle. It gets thicker and stronger. In the same way, that part of the brain that's responsible for a feeling of happiness and well-being that's receiving more blood flow, it's getting thicker, it's getting stronger. So we actually spend more time in that place. Meditation's been proven to reduce stress, frustration, depression, and pain, and also to increase happiness, heighten, heightening levels of patience, acceptance, and compassion. So, even when you're sitting here and it feels like nothing's happening, you can feel confident that meditation and mindfulness can make a change in our life. The best way of experiencing meditation is to actually do it, not to just talk about it. Now, I'm gonna guide you through it, so don't worry if you've never done anything like this before. And remember, some days meditation's gonna feel easy, on other days it might feel difficult. The trick is to gently stay with it each time, no matter how it feels. The most important thing is that you set yourself up in a place that you're gonna be comfortable. Now, you can do this sitting up or lying down. You definitely don't have to be sitting cross legged on the floor. And you can do it alone or you can do it with others. You ready? Let's give it a go. We're gonna start with the eyes open and the nice soft focus, just aware of the space around you. And with that soft focus with the eyes, we're gonna take a couple of big, deep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe in, notice how the lungs fill with air. The body expands. As you exhale, just noticing how the body softens as you breathe out. Just one more time. Breathing in through the nose. And this time, as you breathe out through the mouth, if you like to, just gently closing the eyes. And just take a moment before you do anything else just to appreciate and enjoy the feeling of having stopped, of having nothing to do, nowhere to go. Notice that feeling of weight, the weight of the body pressing down against the seat or the floor beneath you. And take a moment as well just to notice your surroundings without looking around, just noticing the different sounds, not trying to shut them out. Perhaps noticing any resistance towards them, just getting comfortable in that space. And use this opportunity as well just to notice how the body feels. Very often, we don't really take time to notice how the body feels. So, is there a feeling of heaviness or lightness in the body? A sense of restlessness or stillness in the body? And as you bring your attention into body, just starting to become more aware of that feeling, that movement of breath in the body. So you don't have to breathe in any special way. Just allow the body to do its own thing. Some people feel that movement of breath in their chest, their shoulders. For some, it's in the diaphragm, and for some, it's in the stomach. You can't feel anything, any movement. Just gently place your hand on your stomach so you can feel that rising and falling sensation. So just setting the mind. Again, thoughts are gonna arise. The mind's gonna wander. Just notice when the mind's wandered off and just gently come back to the breath. To begin with, we're just noticing the breath in a very general way. Perhaps starting to notice whether the breaths are long or short, deep or shallow. And we might find ourselves thinking either about the exercise or other things, just realizing when that's happened, letting those thoughts go and coming back to the breath again. And just to make it a little easier to focus on the breath, we're gonna begin to count the breaths as they pass. So as you feel the rising sensation, count to 1. Falling sensation, 2. Just silently in the mind, then 3 and 4. Just up to count of 10. When you get to 10, you're gonna stop and start again at 1. So remember, no effort required. The body knows how to breathe, how to breathe. Not getting involved in any thinking, just allowing the thoughts to come and go. And in those moments, when you realize the mind's wandered off, just gently bringing the attention back to the breath again. So we'll just stay with that feeling of rising and falling sensation just for a few moments longer than just for a few moments now. I like to let go of any focus, even of the breath now and for a few seconds, just allow your mind to do whatever it wants to do. So if it's been wanting to think, you can let it think now. Just allow the mind to do whatever it wants to do. Now just gently bringing the attention back to the body. Just coming back now to the feeling of weight, the feeling of contact against the seat on the floor beneath you. Perhaps noticing the sounds around you again. And whenever you feel ready, you can just gently open your eyes again. But before you move, just take a moment to notice how you feel in your body and in your mind. The more often we do this after meditation, the more we'll be reminded of how much we need to pause in our life to take this time out for ourselves. If you can't resist any temptation to analyze what's happened, the benefits, or anything else, just knowing that it taking the time, it making a difference. And then my final bit of advice is always, before you get up, just remind yourself as an intention to take this quality of mind with you into your life. It's great to take some time out. It's great to take some time out, to close our eyes, to be still, to be quiet. And there are real benefits to that, but I feel like the real benefits of meditation are found when we take the quality of mind into our everyday life, into our relationships, into our experience. So always putting that intention before you get up and move. So I hope you join me in episode 2 as we explore how we can let go of the baggage that we carry around with us in our mind, and how we can find a greater sense of acceptance and relaxation in our life. I'll be back here then with a new technique for you. I look forward to seeing you then.